Have you been considering a move to Delaware and you're wondering how the process is different from where you're currently living, or you're wondering what the area is like? Well, today we're going to dive into that and get you a little bit better understanding of what you can expect moving forward if you do decide to relocate here to Delaware. Before we dive into the content, my name is Matt Lunden. I'm a local real estate agent here in Coastal Delaware, and we put out content each and every week discussing all things Coastal Delaware, what it's like to live here and the real estate market here. If that's something that you would like to see some more of, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And then if you're someone that's looking to buy or sell real estate here in Coastal Delaware, me and my team love hearing from you guys here on the channel. So do me a favor, all my contact information is going to be down below in the description and right here on the screen. If we can help in absolutely any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Now let's dive back into the content. First, and the most important piece of relocating anywhere, figuring out where you want to be. Delaware, while it's not a very big state, no secret that Delaware is a very small state, but we've got a variety of different living conditions depending on where you want to end up. So it is very important that at the start of your search, you figure out exactly what you're looking to be close to. You know, are you somebody that needs to be close to the beaches? Are you somebody that needs to be close to the Philadelphia airport or another airport? Are you somebody that wants to be in a more rural area? Depending on exactly what you want to be near will dictate which areas we suggest that you look at. So take a good thought process of exactly what your hobbies are, what you like to do in your free time, and where you would want to set your roots down. And that's the kind of areas that we'll look at. So say you're somebody that likes to go to the beach pretty often. Well, we're going to put you closer to the beaches. So even here in Sussex County, we got quite a difference between areas. Again, here in Coastal Delaware, real estate's going to be more expensive because you're closer to the beaches. You're going to have a lot more tourism in the summertime, so it's going to get a lot busier. Whereas if you just go to the western side of the county, 30 minutes west, now you're in farmlands, it's more rural, real estate is more cost effective, and you can get a lot more bang for your buck. So just depending on exactly what things you like to do and what you want to be near, that will dictate exactly where in the state that we recommend that you go to. It is always good to figure out what you like to do and what you want to be near before buying a house and getting settled down and then realizing, well, shoot, everything I like is an hour away and I hate it here. We don't want anybody to have that experience. So just take that into consideration before deciding on which part of the state you want to be in. Once you've considered the geographic area and you've really hammered out where you want to be as far as towns, maybe a list of 3, 4, 5 towns that you want to be in, the next step is start finding homes in that area. However, before you go look at any homes, we always recommend that you talk with a lender prior to getting into any homes. And the reason why we say that is because we don't want you looking at homes that are way out of your budget. And then ultimately, when we look at homes that are in your budget, you're very disappointed because they're vastly different from the things that were way out of your budget. When you are talking with your lender, it's very important that you consider what your monthly payment will be. Don't just look at the big flashy number. They say that you're approved for $500,000. Don't just look at that number. Figure out exactly what the monthly breakdown on that is, so you have an idea of what exactly is going to be coming out of your pocket each month. The worst thing that we see is people say, oh, the lender approved me for $500,000, so I'm going to go spend $500,000. And then they find out because of interest rates and HOA payments and property taxes that now they're not so comfortable with that monthly payment anymore, and it really stretches them thin. So just make sure you're asking the question of, hey, I understand that you pre-approved me for this amount, but what does that look like on a monthly basis? That way you have a better idea and a better understanding of what exactly is going to be coming out of your pocket each and every month. If you don't have a lender that's licensed here in Delaware, we have a vetted list of trusted lenders that we have and we provide to our clients. So if you need somebody to just review some finances with you, don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to get you some of that contact information. So you've selected the area, you've talked with your lender, you've got pre-approved. Now what? Talk with your agent. So we hope that's us. We hope you decide to work with us, but you're going to work with your agent and you're going to put together a list of things that you absolutely must have in a home. These are not things that are just suggestions. These are must-haves. For instance, you need 3 bedrooms. Well, it wouldn't make sense to go look at a 2-bedroom house if you need to have 3 bedrooms. So we're going to put it together a list of absolute must-have items. That way, the homes that you're looking at actually fit what you want and need. It doesn't make sense to be cramming yourself into a home that you don't necessarily love. And it doesn't make sense to, like I said, look at something where it just doesn't fit what you need. So make sure that you're putting together a solid list there and having open communication with your agent. If we start sending you things that are absolutely missing the mark, let us know. It's that feedback that helps us really refine the search. And as we work through the process, it's just important to be open about what you like, what you don't like. Ultimately though, I will say, again, back to the previous example of somebody that's pre-approved for $500,000. What we don't want to do is go look at every single home in the county that's listed at $500,000 or less. That just doesn't make sense. We want to make sure that we're actually looking at homes that make sense for you. So we see a lot of clients that get analysis paralysis where they need to see every single home because they think, well, this one's perfect, but what if there's a more perfect one out there? And that chase for more perfect oftentimes ends up with the client losing out on a home that they really loved because they thought that, oh, well, if this one's got X, Y, and Z, this one must have more than that. And it's just not the case. A lot of times the first one that you see that you really love is the one that you need to be putting in an offer on. And it's just important to consider those things so you're not running all around and just taking a tour of the area instead of actually making a focused search for homes in the areas that you love with the criteria that are required by you. Now, we may have some items in that requirement list that would like to haves and that are not deal breakers, but hey, if it has this, it would be perfect. So just again, be open with your agent, let them know, again, we hope it's us, but let them know what exactly you're looking for. That way we can be a lot more focused in our search and not just looking at every single home that's on the market in your budget. Once you've picked out the perfect home for you, it's time to write your offer. In the current climate, it's still important to be writing a strong offer. Now, if a home's been sitting on the market for a little bit, obviously that does become a little bit more lenient. And when we say strong offer, we don't just mean that the price. There are a number of variables when writing your offer, and a lot of those are contingencies. If you're getting a mortgage, we're going to have a financing contingency. If you'd like to get a home inspection, we're going to have a home inspection contingency. So there's a number of items that you can include that protect you as a buyer. However, they do weaken your offer in the eyes of the seller. So if you are going against, or there's 4 other offers that the seller has in hand, you just want to take that into consideration when you're writing your offer. If you want to have a home inspection or a financing contingency or a radon contingency or whatever else it may be, you just want to make sure that you're reflecting that in the price if they are in fact in receipt of multiple offers. Because if they have more than one in hand, the chances are that one of those is going to be pretty strong and likely waive a lot of those contingencies. So if you're someone that would like to have a lot of that included, just make sure you're making up for it in price. And we can go through a little bit of those nuances as to how to work those offers. Now, I will say there are some differences here in Delaware versus our surrounding states. And perhaps the biggest one that we see most often is that in Delaware, we don't have an attorney review period. Attorneys do conduct all of our settlements, do our title searches and that kind of stuff, but we don't have a time period after the contract is signed that you can just back out with no consequence. Once that contract is signed, you do have to move forward in good faith that you're going to get to the settlement table. Now, there are a few different instances where you can get out of that deal. If a home inspection comes back that has a whole bunch wrong and the seller says we're not fixing anything, obviously you can back out. Depending on the HOA, if you're in an HOA community, depending on the dollar amount there, you do get a review period of the HOA documents. And if you don't approve those, you can back out. So there's a number of different ways that you could get out of a deal if you wanted to. However, most often, once we're under contract, we like to see that thing get to the finish line. So we do operate in good faith and we don't try and purposely sabotage anything. We don't go and put a whole bunch of money on our credit cards to try and blow the deal up. We do move forward and try and get the deal to the table. The next thing that's a little bit different here versus other places is our settlement timelines. Most often, our settlements are 30 to 45 days. We occasionally see 60 days, and then even rarer, we'll see a 90-day settlement. Typically in that 90-day settlement, the seller is going to require a little more skin in the game, a bigger deposit, just because they're worried that, what happens if you lose your job or what happens if these 3 things happen. We want to make sure that we are covered if we're taking the home off the market. So just know that typically our closings are 30 to 45 days. So if you have a home that you need to sell wherever you're moving here from, just keep that in mind that when you come down here, if your home is not on the market yet, the seller here will likely not take you very seriously. So you need to make sure that your home is ready to go on the market, if not already on the market when you come here to look. Because if you're someone that's waiting and you don't have the finances to cover 2 homes at the same time, you're not going to be taken very seriously in the eyes of the seller. And it's going to be a lot harder to get your deal accepted, especially knowing that in a 30 to 45 day timeline, you're looking to close, but you still have to go back home. You have to interview agents. You have to put your home on the market. You have to get pictures taken. You've got this whole laundry list of items that you need to take care of, and you're still expecting the seller here to accept your offer. Delaware. So it just doesn't work out that way. You need to make sure that if you do have a home to sell, that it is on the market already. The final thing that's probably a little bit different here versus some other places, we only have one deposit. We don't have multiple deposits unless you're in one of those, 90-day settlements or a longer settlement where they may ask for a second deposit. We do only have one. It's right at the start when you go under contract. You either pay it at time of signing or you mail a check a couple days later, but it is only that one deposit. That would be the only money that you put up aside from inspections and that kind of stuff until settlement, when the rest of your cash to close is due. I know some other markets have an option fee where you basically pay for your inspection period. We don't have that here in Delaware. We do only have that one deposit. That should give you a little bit more insight as to the process here in Delaware from a very broad view. Obviously, we could get a lot more granular with it if we need to. So if you have any further questions about the process or what it looks like or how we can assist, all my contact information, again, is down below in the description and right here on the screen. We love helping you guys here on the channel, so don't hesitate to reach out. And then if you are someone that wants to see some more content about moving to Delaware, living in coastal Delaware, the lifestyle here and the real estate market here, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below just so you can stay in the loop each week when we go live with new content. And we hope to see you guys next time. Peace.